you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, this is Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. The Our Lady Sings and Then Makes It Official. Welcome to the big show, my family and friends. As always, for 16 years, going on 17, over 2,100 episodes, the Chris Voss Show Podcast. You can go see it at ChrisVossShowPodcast.com. Thank you. Good night. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys, just go watch the show over there. Anyway, we're live with an amazing young lady and amazing prolific author on the show. We're going to be talking about all of her books and some of the works that she's done. And you're going to be excited and buy every damn one of them or else. I don't know what that means. Today we have Ilana Long on the show with us today. We're going to be talking about her new book that taps into the hottest trend in exercise, and it's also great for dating and meeting people. Pickleballers is the name of the book, and it just came out November 12th, 2024. For those of you who are going to write me 10 years from now on YouTube and say, it's not new. Stop it. Look at the date on the video, for Christ's sake. Ilana is a famed author. She's written a number of different books that she has out. The Pickleballers book that we'll be talking about today is a rom-com, or as some people call it, romantic comedy. And as Gen Z calls it, I don't know, a bunch of random emojis. So her other books include Ziggy's Big Idea, noted for its dialogue-driven approach. Several of her nonfiction essays are published in Chicken Soup for the Soul. And she's a regular columnist for the Tico Times, Costa Rica's national English language newspaper. Readership 12,000. There's a camera in the.
We got a lot of leaders in that.
There's a lot of readers. We're into leadership. Yeah, it's one of those things. Besides writing, she travels and lives abroad, hikes, paints, acts, sings, teaches, and parents her twin teens. Oh my God, that's a job right in of itself. So, welcome to the show, Ilana. How are you?
I am doing super today. How are you doing?
I am doing super. The comedy is just rolling as we were.
It's rolling.
We had more fun in the green room, but we'll see how this goes. We did a whole show in the green room before this.
We did. We should have taped that part, but
we should have. We should have really done that. So, Ilana, give us the .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs to get to know you better?
Okay, my website is Ilana Long, ILANALONG.com, and I'm at Instagram at Ilana Long Writes.
So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your new book?
Okay, so this is a romantic comedy. And of course, you're never going to guess, but it's about pickleball because it's called Pickleballers.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's about a woman named Meg, and she goes through this recent divorce, and her friend Annie drags her out on the pickleball court because, where else are you going to go to lift your spirits? And that's the place she goes. Absolutely.
Or drinking at the bar, but
one or the other
works. Yeah.
And she does that too. So, a few months later, she's really involved in the community, and she finds out that they're going to tear down her community pickleball courts. And the person who's heading that initiative happens to be the sexy environmentalist who she had this sort of romantic fling with. And, hilarity ensues and sexual tension and yada, yada. So,
hence the rom-com. Now, you definitely, what inspired you to want to write a book entitled Pickleballers about the sport a bit?
First of all, I love pickleball. I'm kind of obsessed. Like a lot of people who you might meet who play pickleball, they kind of get in the zone and they play for hours and their whole body's hurt and then they still don't stop. But that's kind of where I'm at. and so I wanted to do that, but I started writing this during the pandemic because I really needed something uplifting, and pickleball was one of those few places where I could get outside, be 6 feet apart, and sort of you with people, and I'm a big extrovert, in case you couldn't tell.
Maybe you just really needed something to slap around. I think we all needed that after
Just
COVID.
whack the boop out of the ball. Yes,
I know some
exactly.
people that needed some. Anyway, don't resort to violence, folks. That's bad.
No, that's bad.
Just keep it in your brain. So pickleballers. Most people don't know that the pickleball originated with the Aborigines in the 1600s, and they would actually take real
Chris.
pickles and they would slap them back and forth.
Come on
over
now.
a net. And it was later taken up in the Serengeti by people in Africa who formed the sport, and they actually created a real ball from it. It also comes from the town Pickleball in... I'm just making up shit.
Where are you going with this? Because, I'm going to stop you right there, because pickleball started on Bainbridge Island, Washington in 1965 with Joel Pritchard and his family, who later became a Washington state senator. And he was in his backyard, and I have been to those original courts. I really recommend it. It's super, super cool, and possibly named not after pickles, but after their pet dog, who might have been named Pickles. We don't know.
So it was named after the dog. We need to find out if Pickles was neutered, because if he had no balls, they clearly
Pickles balls,
his whole operation.
Pickles balls.
Pickles ballers.
Yes.
Or lack thereof, if he's been to the vet there. Not sure what that means and all, but, we always have these senators pushing their damn sports on us. I don't know. I'm just joking around. I'm sure he's a wonderful senator. But pickleballers. So you found a love of the sport. A lot of people have fallen in love with it. In fact, it's kind of funny it's been funny to watch its involvement. My friend got into it during COVID, and man, he would take pictures of his Apple Watch, and he was burning like 2,500 calories. And yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I was thinking, and I put this in one of my books, I think, that the pickleball makes you feel 10 years younger, adds 1,000 friends. And it's just one of those things where you feel good, you make friends. And really, I feel like pickleballers have so much energy because they're always playing, and so many injuries. Oh, yeah, I guess there's injuries. Note to self, don't take up pickleball. That's one of the reasons I don't ski. I used to watch, what's his face? Why can't I've done this reference a million times on the show. Sonny Bono. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since that Sonny Bono accident, me and Trees skiing, we're not working together at all. But pickleballers, I mean, it got huge, and it was kind of fun to see for a while, because I remember when snowboarders came out and ski resorts banned them. They're like, "Oh, this is evil. This new technology. This is not skiing. Who are you people? You are polluting our lot." And kind of like the tennis people kind of had that.
That's the same sort of thing. And also people thought there was a stigma, that pickleball is for older people. But now, the biggest growing age group is 18 to 34 right now. In pickleball, people are playing pickleball. Young people are playing, and they're good. And it's, it's pro. They're thinking of making an Olympic sport.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's Olympic.
Yeah, for real. It's getting big.
Pickleball in the Olympics, because tennis is in the Olympics, right?
I don't know. I used to play tennis.
How much people really give a shit about tennis anymore. Wow. It's rough there on the tennis court. All guys are standing around going, "Hey, you guys are taking over our courts, and you're playing with some little ball, and you're batting this pickle around or something."
We've had to set up court sharing, and everybody is just this kind of sort of fake polite, on the courts. Oh no, you guys go ahead. No, you guys go ahead. But behind the scenes, it's a lot more.
I know the one thing with tennis is when I used to play tennis as a kid, because clearly I don't now. People in the audience are like, he has it for 10 years, 20 years. But when I used to play tennis, you used to get a real burn sweat going really quick. I mean, it hooks you up running around the court. I imagine it's kind of similar with pickleballers, because you got to run around that court and.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's like ping pong, but you're standing on the table. So you really got a lot of fast action, and it's very close, and you're almost always, at least at my level, I play with a partner always. Some people play singles, especially if you're younger, and you can cover that whole court. I cannot, but I go through bottles of water and bananas and peanuts, because I just need to keep hydrated and fed the whole time. I'm just
Yeah. Sounds like when I have the girlfriend over. I don't know what that means. Anyway, you wrote the book, and is this a new character? I know you've written several other, but how many books do you have, by the way, so we can get a plug in for those?
I probably have sort of like 10 of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books are where my nonfiction essays are in those. And I have Ziggy's Big Idea, which is the children book. This is my debut novel that is being published. I have 2 other novels that I've written, and I'm waiting for them to find their place. And I have a sequel coming out to Pickleballers, and it's called Pickle Perfect. And that is also coming out with Berkeley and Penguin Random House Publishing. So that will be out in about 1 year from now.
So you made quite the, I see all the chicken? What the hell? Chicken soul for...
Chicken soup for the soul?
Suffering brain damage at the end of the day.
Chicken wings, chicken bones.
Chicken soup for the soul. You've got a lot of things. The Magic of Dogs. I love that book. That's my favorite one.
I've got 2 The Magic of Dogs.
Do you?
Yeah, two of my stories are in that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 2 stories inside the book. I mean, The Magic of Dogs. Something that can love you and then take a giant puke on your floor.
Yeah.
There's that. The Empowered Woman, step outside of your comfort zone, making me time. And I like how there's a coffee there. I think that's coffee.
Yeah.
I'm going to imagine it's coffee because I'm prejudiced towards coffee. I don't need any hot cocoa.
A lot of those stories are about like my travel experience. I've lived in other countries, and I was an English teacher for a while, but I taught at international schools. So I worked in Costa Rica and I worked in Mexico. I lived in Costa Rica for 5 years, and I finally just stopped teaching just last year so that I could pursue this dream I've had all my life of being this writer. So I'm a full-time writer now.
So you're basically like, fuck these kids. I'm writing my own book.
That's exactly it.
Just kidding. I
love you kids. If you're listening, we love you. We love you.
Teachers love you. Teachers are the greatest. My mom was a teacher for 30 years, and so is my sister. Yeah. And they're, the amount of love and work, and I mean, their own money too. My mom, I'd call her, and she's like, I just spent $250 at the craft store, buy all these cool things for elementary school kids. And I'm like, you get reimbursed for that, right? And she's like, no. And I'm like, wow.
Sometimes. I wouldn't say all the time.
I would just send invoices. I would just send invoices to all the parents. That's what I do.
The teaching is a lot of outpouring. But I got to tell you, though, I had just an amazing experience at my book launch on Tuesday night during the cyclone bomb, which happened here in the Pacific Northwest. And the wind was blowing. I was going across the I-90 bridge on my car. It was blowing back and forth. And, I swear to you, tree branches were hitting my car. Yeah. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the launch, when this guy comes up to me afterwards, and he has 2 kids with him, and he says, oh, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I was your student. Yeah. And it was like almost 30 years ago. And I do remember him. And he said something very nice. He said, what I do now, I train people to public speak. And he said it was in a large part because of your class and because you're teaching. So I will say, like, after all these years to come and find me at my book launch, I was just like, oh my God.
See, now if I was a teacher, they would hunt me down and be like, you're the one who used to hit me. And so you deserved it. And my mom has that all the time. We'll be I could be at the store or something with her, and people come up and be like, do you remember me? And she'll, they're so excited to see her and inspired by her or whatever. And I'm sure, I always joke that my mom's probably thinking in the back of her head, you were the shit kid. In fact, I think she's done that at least once, where she's like, that was the worst kid that was in my class. But, it seems like maybe they were better for their exposure to my mom, and hopefully my mom influenced them to be better people. But, yeah.
I found that the students who were kind of tough in my class were actually like these really strong people who ended up doing like really crazy, amazing things. So sometimes you never know what's going to happen. Like you, Chris.
I think if I met any of my parent teachers, they would be like, yep, turned out exactly the way we thought you were. Complete disappointment. We've heard the podcast. Yeah, you clearly flunked English, and but it's good to know. We'll try and fix what we did wrong next time. Whatever. Of course, you haven't seen Gen Z yet. So there's that. We love Gen Z. We love to rib them. We just like to rib them. They'll grow up someday. So anyway, what else do we need to know about your book? Why are these rom-coms and stuff so popular these days?
You know what? I think romance has just exploded recently. It's just exploded. And My understanding is I do think that the pandemic, we were just isolated. Mm-hmm. And the way out of isolation, of course, is love. And I think that we're all finding love in our own ways. This sounds really sappy, but I really do believe this. That we're all
crying.
Let's bring out the tiny violin. Okay. No, really, I do think that we needed a little love. And I thought between the pickleball, which really boosted my athleticism and my community building, and the idea of writing a romance and the comedy that's in that romance, I felt very uplifted myself. And I really hope that's what the readers take away, is that they got a chance to be uplifted right now.
Yeah, we need about as much uplifting after COVID and politics and everything else these days. We need some smiles on the face. We also need to learn to love ourselves and each other just a little bit more. And I'm not talking about the narcissist on Instagram. Stop it. Some healthy love, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but yeah, we need to love each other. I mean, one of the biggest things that I see, I mentioned you in the green room before the show that I put on events for singles, and we have, I think, 3,400 singles in our meetup groups. And, people are really looking for love and connection. And in the world of, where everyone's looking at their phones and probably playing pickleball, it's hard to, not with pickleball. The great thing about pickleball is you can get out and meet people. So there's one place that we go to that's a brewery, and they have 4 or 5 pickleball courts out in the back, and they have a few other games there. They have some dartboard, and then they have, what's that where you throw the sack? Cornholing.
Oh, cornhole. Yeah, that's
not
one.
going near those jokes.
Don't
they throw the sack there, and it goes in the hole.
Come on, you said you weren't going near it.
I was just trying to describe the show without being.
Come on.
It's big in the South, that sport, and I think it's professional too. I've seen videos of them doing the cornholing. So anyway, it's got all those things there, and yeah, it's a great venue for meeting people, getting out in fresh air. That's the hardest thing that we have with our singles, is get out and get in some fresh air, meet some people. Don't just come out to try and find love. Come out to make friends, build a social graph.
That's one of the things that I was saying to you before the show, is that one of the biggest, from what I've heard, that one of the biggest first dates around here, especially in good weather here in the Pacific Northwest, is either paddleboarding or playing pickleball, because it's a way to be just fun and social, and there's very little pressure, and that kind of meet someone. I'm an outdoorsy person. That's, I want to be outside and be with people. And I think it's a great way to meet people. And there's so many, it's a sport where you don't have to go with people. You can show up at a court and you meet people. And there's sometimes on a nice day here in Seattle on an outdoor court, there will be 60 people that you are going to be on the court with and just start playing with and meet them.
Seattle, what is it, like 2 days a year? No, I'm just kidding. Don't you guys still have Sundays up there where it's... Don't you guys still have
Mark Twain
Sundays
said
up there
something like
coldest... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do your Martine. Go do your Martine.
I got to tell you what Mark Twain said. It's so important.
Yeah, we set it up now.
No, I think it was about San Francisco, but maybe it was about Seattle. He said the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in Seattle.
Sure wasn't Utah. He came through during Trading Places, the book, or not Trading Places, Trading. I don't know what the name of the.
I don't know.
He met with Brigham Young in Utah. It was like Brigham Young was trying to explain having 75 wives or some damn thing, and then he read the knockoff of the Bible or whatever it was. But yeah, don't you guys still have Sundays up there where basically any day that the sun actually comes out, everyone takes off work and it just becomes a party day?
I will say that's not really far from the truth, in that when we do have nice weather, if it stops raining, everybody just puts on their shorts and T-shirts. It could be like 62 degrees, 58 degrees. If the sun is out, you will see people in T-shirts and shorts.
Go to a courtroom and the judge is in his shorts. And
it's like, it's balmy out.
Yeah, all the lawyers are. Where the suits go? It's Sunday. Yeah, all the Seattle friends tell us that. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's why you guys have all that coffee. It's kind of depressing there with all that rain.
That's beautiful, too. It's the Emerald City because of all the rain. We get these evergreen trees, and it's just green here everywhere. So.
Gotta love it. It's like being back east. with all the greenness. I remember when I went to West Virginia with my mom, because our family comes from there. Big surprise, huh? And it was just so green, just everything luscious green everywhere, except for the alcohol and the stills. That was different color. But that's
different.
So Pickleballers. So is there a follow-up to this? Do you see the characters that you put in the book continuing through you mentioned you might have one or two other books in the can?
I do. I have the sequel, and it's already in final revisions right now with Berkeley Publishing also. It's called Pickle Perfect, and it takes two minor characters from Pickleballers, and they become the protagonists of the next story. And two of the supporting characters, Rooster and Laverne, who are this fabulous couple in their 70s, they move into the second book as well, because just they're so fun, and I didn't want to let go of them. So I had to take them with me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that you have that, because, people need to have exposure to this stuff so they can, do it all and find out how romance works. Because it seems like one of the things I find with a lot of my single people is they don't know how romance works anymore. How does this dating work, Chris?
I don't know that any of us really knows how romance works. It's funny because in the book, I originally did not write it as a romance. I wrote it as a friendship between her and her best friend, Annie. And it was a comedy. It was a straight comedy. And my agent and my editor said, look, romance will really strengthen this story. And so I moved the romance forward, but I still kept that really strong friendship in the background, because I felt like those are really important. So romance, hot, heavy, and it's like a strong infatuation, but friendships, those are like those bonds that last and last.
Yeah. You mentioned Pickleballers and paddleboarding.
And what? Oh, and paddleboarding. Yeah, that's another one.
Is that really popular up there?
Oh, yeah.
Now, how does paddleboarding work? Is that like...
What'd you say?
How does paddleboarding work? Is that
you stand up on the water it's like a surfboard, but it's wider, and you just sit there and you paddle. And it's very, paddle. You're having a moment.
For some reason, I was thinking of, those little, when we were kids, they had those little paddles, and it would have a ball attached to it, the rubber ball. You sit there like that. And
You've got the pickleball in your head, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking I've got tennis, pickleball, itis. Yeah. I was just setting up the joke that, I do the pickleballing on the first date, and then later we do the paddling later. Not sure what that means.
I have so much innuendo in this book, and all of it is in there. I mean, there's no resisting with the word pickle and the word balls. You just can't get away with using those words without just ripping them to shreds. Oh, did I say that? I meant gently nourishing those words.
Gently nourishing those words.
Did I tell you that I did the voiceover, the narration for the audiobook as well? I don't think I did. Yes, it was really cool. Yeah, because I used to be an actress and a stand-up comic. And so in those days, I did a lot of theater, and I actually had narrated a cookbook once. And so I wrote to Penguin Audio and I said, can I do this if I send you an audition tape? And they were like, yeah, sure. And so that was a super cool experience.
Yeah. I mean, I love it when audiobooks are done by the author. It seems so disingenuous, I feel, if they're not. I kind of feel
well, certainly for autobiography, I think you got to do it yourself. But
it's even worse when the book's written by a woman and it's a man doing the audiobook, and you're like,
yeah, I don't understand that.
She transitioned quickly. We do the jokes on the show, or the other way, vice versa. It's a free country. People do what you want. So anyway, Ilana, it's been wonderful to have you on. Give us a final tease out, pitch out for people to buy the book and whatever .coms you want them to check you out on.
All right, Pickleballers by Ilana Long, that's me, and it's a romantic comedy. It's available at bookstores everywhere and also on the Penguin Random House site. My website is ilanalong.com, spelled ILANALONG.com, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Ilana Long Writes, like writes.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ilana, for coming to the show. It's been super fun, and please come back for your second book. We'd love to have you.
I would love to. Thanks so much, Chris.
Folks, order up wherever fine books are sold, called Pickleballers, out November 12th, 2024. And watch for the upcoming books from her. Check out some of her other books that she's published in the Chicken of the Soul thing there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss, one of the TikTok and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other, stay safe, or else we'll see you next time.